Welcome to the Ladies Lounge.
Welcome. We are your hostess with the mostest. I'm your girl, Carmen.
And I'm your girl, Lina.
And we got the one and only, the player. But no, he's not a player. Let me backtrack.
He's not a player no more.
He's a homie. He's a lover. He's a friend. We've known him forever, honestly. Man, we'll eventually get into how we've known each other. But this is really the homie, Killah. Welcome to the show.
My day one.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited. Like y'all said, this is like old times, man.
Yeah.
We was doing this like 10 years ago. So I'm excited to get into it, man.
Yep.
Facts. So we go way back, like Killah basically at some point, I think we met as you being an intern, right?
Yeah, correct.
Then you jumped on our team. By the way, remind me after I just got hit up. I got some information for you. So maybe if you want to, you can.
I think I definitely want this information.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hit you up afterwards then. But basically, yeah, that's how we know each other through work. Kind of like how Angie and I, we have similar ways of introduction, honestly, because Angie and I met the same way kind of Killah and I did, except I stole Angie from a different station. But but Killah, yeah, he was on the show. And we knew from the moment like Killah jumped on, we're like, okay, he's a natural. He don't try to be someone different. It was always your vibe to be yourself. And I've always liked you from the get. And then as you grew with us, I was like, fuck yeah, like this is dope. And you eventually became a talent for us. And I thought that was so dope. And then when we lost you, it sucks. Honestly, we were all like, fuck, you're a good talent, but we wished you well. We see you still growing, still working. And honestly, you only got better when you left anyway. So it was beautiful to see you and still continue to see you doing what you love. So the fact that we get to still have you around, even though Angie was a little closer to you after, I've always supported you. I've always loved you, especially with the most recent work that you've done. So yeah.
Definitely. Likewise. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate the kind words. Like you said, man, we go back super far. Like you said, even me and Ange, man, like you said, we like
from day
real,
one.
like, yeah, like real life friends, man. Like for real, like, when shit going down, when shit hit the fan, like for real, we,
First one.
Yeah.
So all her rundown of all the motherfuckers that played her.
Oh man, it's crazy because I'll hit up Angie sometimes when I'm listening to y'all show, and I'll be like, "Yo, what dude exactly was you talking about when you said this story?" Because I'm getting it confused with this dude, but I don't think you talking about him. Like I have to ask her sometimes, like, "Yo, who were you talking about on that episode?" So,
but you know what though? Yes, but this is my point. Is like, you can't play a player though at the end of the day, so it's like, they might think they played me, but at the end of the day,
you played yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I just got another one to choose from, so it's all good.
There you go.
Cheers to that. It's so funny because Killah, man, I just want my girl to settle down. I want her to find love, but even though like we get so close, we end up getting discouraged. And so my job as her friend is to remind her that not everyone is the same. And it's kind of fucking hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of hard when we got like the same motherfucker, not the same motherfucker, but the same thing happening with these different dudes. And it's like, I want to be like, hey girl, he's another one. That's not the one. But it's like, she keeps getting the same action. Like these men, they worked so hard to get her attention. They finally get her attention. And then they end up fucking up, and in a bad way. Like, it's not just like, oh, he slipped here and there. It's like they end up doing her dirty. And it's hard for me as a girl and as a friend to be like, hey, don't be discouraged. There's good men out there. So I'm gonna need you to tell her, because there are good men out there. She just hasn't came across. What do you think she's doing wrong? Do you think it's because she's finding them in the wrong places, in the same places? She's doing the same thing. What can we do to help my girl find love?
Well, that's my first question is like, yo, where are you meeting these guys from? Because, and I'll say this, that I've just noticed because, and like, and you know me, y'all know me, I have a lot of women friends. So just observation that I see that a lot of times the pool that women pick from is an old pool. It's some old work that they've had or somebody that they've previously been affiliated with.
Yep.
And I just look at it like this, right? If you've done all this work on yourself and you've done all this healing, you know what I'm saying, to put yourself in a better position, it's really hard to go back and try to pick from that same pool from when you kind of had
That's
old
true.
bad behaviors, bad habits, toxic behaviors. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it might have been cool. It might have been a good time. But when you try to bring that in the present day, you'd be like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not working out. I'm trying to move above and beyond this. So sometimes that may be it. And where are you looking? Like, are you on the dating apps? Where are you looking at?
Not anymore. I mean, honestly, I haven't been dating. So that's, you know, like the last advice that you gave me was, and maybe you should spend some time alone. So I actually have. And I mean, pretty much, yeah, I've been digging at in the recycle bin. So you know that. And one thing that Killah told me a while ago, because I almost called you Bryan, and I'm sure like I don't want to confuse anybody. So
y'all call me whatever, man. Bryan, B, Grace, Killah B.
Right. Okay. So
whatever it is, man. Big B if you a family member.
So his real name, his real name is Bryan. His stage name is Killah. So
yeah. Or Killah D, the famous Killah D. So, but I remember one time you told me, and I noticed that you attract a lot of men who are hurt, like men who have a lot of healing to do. And I was like, damn, you're right. You know, it was one of those like, so that definitely opened up my eyes. And I did realize like I do attract a lot of men that have a lot of healing work to do. And I do strongly believe like I'm in a much different place now. And, you know, we were briefly talking about this before we jumped on, but, you know, I've been really working on myself in the last, you know, year and a half. And I feel like now when I find a high quality man, I'll be able to recognize it and I'll be able to, you know, obtain it and be happy and be in a healed place where I can, you know, appreciate it. Because let's be real, as much as we talk shit about some of the guys I've dated, there have been some good ones. And because of the pain that I brought from other relationships, it kind of scared them away, you know? So I don't want to sit here and act like the victim and it was all, you know, I just got hurt. I was also the one playing the games. I was also the one contributing to the toxic behavior. And this is what we call, ladies and gentlemen, accountability.
Yeah. Woo, that is true. That is so true, because like recognizing what you've done wrong equals growth to me. I feel like you learn from it. And sometimes, not gonna lie, we fall back from time to time, but as long as you recognize it every time, like this is something I shouldn't be doing, and you genuinely are trying to make it better, you know, that's all that matters. And really that's the lesson in itself. So I feel like her taking accountability for where she's been and her reaction, and mostly it's the way she responds a lot of the time. It's not really what she does, it's how she responds. But still, that's not to take away from the men that have fucked her over, because like, I feel like there's going to be at least one or two of her exes or dudes she's fucked with that are going to say, yeah, that's what you didn't admit to me. You didn't admit to me that you fucked up. But it's like, no, let's backtrack and let's start off where you started wrong, because I feel like they're so quick to be like, yeah, you did this, you did that. And it's like, no, you fucked it up. That's how it started. And then Andrew responded a little negatively, but she had to do what you got to do, you know? But that's what I think it is. I think what she's doing is, and I think we've gone to a place now, or I'm dating with her, but I feel like I am, I'm not gonna lie. But like,
me too, though. You guys have like literally been through all my relationships with me.
So I feel like she's gotten to a place where she's realizing like, maybe I shouldn't date entertainers, or maybe I shouldn't date these type of men. And sometimes it's like, we do have to do that, but it's like, everyone has a preference, you know? Like I chose getting into my radio career and like having a father who was in radio his whole life. I knew I didn't want to date an entertainer, but mostly I knew I didn't want to date an entertainer because I knew what I couldn't handle. Like, I don't want to drive myself crazy, you know, having all these insecurities, because I know what men in entertainment are capable of. Angie, on the other hand, is like, she didn't have that, you know, what I saw growing up, but so she feels like, and this is very common, the common mistake most people in entertainment do is they want to get with someone who can relate to them and understand what it is to have late night hours, to be out at the club. Like I had an ex who just totally hated my radio career. And this is me barely starting. Like I was an intern, hated it, right? My daughter's dad hated it, never supported it. And to me, it's like, that right there, we knew it was not going to work. And there was other issues, of course, but that was a main thing. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You want to find someone who understands you, but that's where I was stuck. Like, how the fuck do I find someone that understands this, but it's also not an entertainer? So that's hard. Like, it's hard being in entertainment and dating. I'm sure, Killah, you know this. Like, people have trust issues with entertainers.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. And like you said, I think, like you said, all about what they can be capable of and what because once you get on the inside track of that world and you kind of see like, I know how they get down. And like you said, you either want no parts of it, or on the flip side of it, you're attracted to it and you're really drawn to it even more because it's kind of what you're used to. So yeah, but it's I think dating just in general, especially just where we're at now, is so difficult. Like just in general, like I feel like me in a relationship now, I got lucky. Like my girl slid in my DMs, you know what I mean? All of that, all I had to do was respond.
Yes, she started it. Yes.
Yeah, but I understand like it's so difficult. Like when you say it, like you asked me about Angie, I'm like, I don't know, like I don't even know like where to start. Like I was confused myself when I was dating. Like I was like, damn, like I was literally like, I want this type of woman, but I have no idea like where to go find her at. Like, do I just go, walk around Whole Foods for 3 hours until, you know what I'm saying, I see some, or you're like, what do you do that's outside of the dating apps? And the dating apps are just, that's we all know.
It's a horror story. I've heard some horror stories. B, can you please just share about that one girl who hit you up that one time about?
Yeah. Oh,
wait, what?
You talking about when I first moved to LA? Okay, so let me tell you.
Let me hear this because LA girls are different too. So let's hear it.
Yeah. So I had just moved to LA. I mean, like maybe this might be the first weekend. Like, so my maybe first, second or third night, I'm unpacked. So I'm like, all right, let me see what's going on. Hop on Bumble, get to swiping and, match with someone. And mind you, it's like 2 a.m. So it's super late. It's very late at night. So it's like 2 a.m. We match and she sends me a message. We played a message game back and forth. We played 21 questions and this and that. And then she hits me with the, I'm done hanging out with my friends. Let's link up. Where you at?
At 2:00 in the morning?
Yeah, it's like 2:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So I'm like, man, that sounds fun. This is what I'm thinking in my head.
Right.
I'm like, that sounds fun. But then I'm also like, man, I'm from East Oakland, bro. Like, my mind go to like, she could come over here with a bunch of dudes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like my mind started going to that. Like, yo, you finna.
Am I getting set up?
Yeah, you finna give your address to the stranger. Like,
yeah.
So eventually, I'm trying to play it cool because I'm not trying to lose the potential. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, yo, it's pretty late. Maybe we link up tomorrow morning and then, go from there. And she was like, nah, very adamant. She's like, nah, we got to link tonight. So then that's another red flag. I'm really like, okay. And I was just like, nah, it's bad tonight, this and that or whatever. And she goes, oh man, that's too bad because I was really trying to get my pussy ate tonight. And I was just like,
what? You're like,
oh, okay. So me, I'm just kind of like, so I hit her with the, like, yo, like what made you think I was gonna eat you out, like off the rip, like off the first meetup?
Wait, did you really say that? You asked?
Yeah, it was just kind of, I was like, what made you think that was happening? Like, and then
what makes you think I just walk around eating pussy all day?
Come
like,
on,
what?
man, like we just met, bro. Like,
right.
It was out all night. Like, well, nobody. Come on,
you got that stank puss. I don't know if you what you're doing.
Come on, don't come trying to put that in my face. I don't want that.
Right.
So so I'm like, I'm like, so she hit me back and she was like, oh, she sent me like the peace sign emoji and she was like, oh, good luck dating in LA. And I remember I responded and I was like, hey, good luck getting your pussy eaten tonight. And that was that. That she unmatched me and that was the last I heard from her.
Damn. Well, first of all,
I don't even know if that's the story you was talking about, Angie. I got a couple stories from LA. Like
that's funny because we've come a long way. First of all, it took a lot for women to start even approaching men first.
Right.
But to
Right.
get from that to like, I was just trying to get my pussy ate. Like, what? Wait a minute. I don't even know your last name at this point. Like, but it is crazy because yes, the LA lifestyle is different from where you have been not raised, because you were living in Fresno for years. This isn't where you're from. So
Right.
Fresno and LA very different in many ways, but Oakland and LA have a lot of similarities in a sense where we're very outgoing people. When it comes to like meeting and mingling and stuff, that we're very alike. But also, like you said, in Oakland, like there's some things where you're like red flag.
Right.
That's for sure a red flag. But I would have felt the same way if I'm like someone was adamant about seeing you. But now I think back and I'm like, okay, maybe she did want to get her pussy eaten. But I also feel like, what if there was gonna be a setup, and that's what she wrapped it up with because she knew you weren't gonna go there, you know?
True.
So
Maybe.
it's like, it's scary. But then again, I got crazy friends that are about that life, that have done stuff like that. So it wouldn't even shock me that she really wanted her pussy ate. Like it was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I've even been to that point. Remember, Ange? So I don't know if you know this, Killah, but I went through a breakup last year.
Yeah.
Was it last year?
It was the year before. It was like 2 years ago. Well, like a year and a half ago.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's been like a okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, I appreciate you for listening. First of all, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, because it really wasn't on social media because I really don't share my relationship, but you know who my man is.
Right.
So yeah. So I went through a breakup, and during that breakup, I was definitely on my like, I just want to get some, and it was more of like, I've been tied down to the same dick for so long. Fuck it. I deserve something different. So that's why it's not too off the wall that she just wanted a pussy ate, because when you get to a point where you're tired, you're like, you know what? At this point, I deserve to get mines after I've been loyal for so long. So man, just expect the unexpected. The good thing is you ain't got to worry about dealing with no crazy random bitch that you're just getting to know anymore.
But then here's the thing, and this is what I was even telling Angie. I'm more used to like let's ease into the sex talk. We can't go from like, oh, I just moved out here to, oh, I'm about to come get eaten out by you tonight. You know what I mean? Like, like at least like there was no type of sexual talk at all. So it came out the blue to me. So I think that's why the red flags went off. Yeah. I was like, we wasn't even on that type of time yet. Like
a lot of women appreciate men like you though, that would like to slow, like that's not a bad thing to have. Don't let her
I ain't
fuck
gonna
you
lie.
up.
I feel like I missed out on a lot of pussy being like that, but it's cool. I feel like it paid off in the long run. I feel like in the long run it paid off.
No, yeah, it sure did. You did well. Well, and I'm sure your girl appreciates that now, you know?
Right. Because listen, women don't like hoes either. I don't know why it's okay for men to be out here just slanging, it wherever they want, whenever they want. But I feel like you know what, if it's okay for you to do something, then it should be okay for me to do something. Right. So if it's okay that you were out here thotting, guess what? I was out here thotting too, baby. So it's an even playing field.
Well, how did you go from, because you're in a relationship now, if you don't mind talking about it, but
of course.
How did she, because in the beginning stages of dating, and Angie will tell you this, when you're talking to someone who is in entertainment, everything's fun and games. And then when things start getting serious, you start actually being in a relationship, and then time goes by. You get to those moments where, especially if the other person is not in the know of how it goes down behind the scenes in the celebrity world or the entertainment world. So how did she take it? Like, did you guys have conversation? Did you guys talk about possibly like, hey, just so you know, sometimes I am going to need to be out and about, and it has nothing to do with just me wanting to see bitches at the club. It's like, it's for, meeting people and like networking and stuff like that. How did you ever have that conversation? Because I feel like that is important too, or at least to allow her to understand what it's like to be in entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we also had like this really like basic understanding of each other, because like me and my girl is also like very different in that we didn't know each other, but we knew each other because it's crazy. We've been following each other on social media for like 3 years without even really like talking to each other. Like she has a podcast. So that's what I'm saying. It's like she's kind of in a similar space, you know what I mean? Where So it, you know, she has a podcast that I found, and I thought the show was dope. So I followed her, and you know, she followed me back. And you know, it was cool. It was just kind of like you know, she responded to a story here and there. I responded to something from her here and there. You know, I had my situations. She would have her situations. So it never really, you know, lined up perfectly. But there was always, and she even tells me like, you know, I just like just watching you online, like I just always felt like I knew you was a good person.
That's dope.
I knew you had a good vibe about you. So we, and her, like, I listened to her show, and her show is literally about her life, her dating life. So I had all her backstory just from listening to the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's weird in that we kind of like, our first conversation was weird because it was brand new, but it was also like, you felt like it felt really comfortable because there was all of this history, even though it was never really more than like a one sentence conversation between the two of us. So yeah, but it was, you know, it was, and I think also that first conversation, we were just brutally honest with each other, just kind of laid it all out on the table of just like, this is where I'm at in life. This is what I'm looking for. She was like, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm looking for.
That.
We was both kind of like, okay, we both kind of looking for the same things. And, you know, we're into each other. So yeah, it just kind of happened. But, you know, definitely the conversations of you know, just like you say though, about what does this look like? You know, like I said, we're in a long distance relationship. I'm in the Bay, she's in LA. So that's a conversation, right? Of like, okay, well, yes, long distance, and we know we can just say, oh, we're gonna make it work, we're gonna do this, but it's like, no, like, what does this actually look like? So, you know, like you said about your question of like, if someone is dating someone in entertainment, or you dating somebody in the industry that may be more demanding than normal and you may not understand it, excuse me, it's so important. That's that rose getting to me. It's important. It's important to that, you know, it's important to sit down and have that conversation with your partner, you know, of just being like, you know, what does this look like exactly? Like, you know, there are nights, so, you know, just so there's a clear understanding of like, yo, there are nights where I'm gonna be out really late. You know, don't take it as like, if I'm not answering the phone, that I'm out here, you know, fucking around, you know, up to no good. Just understand that I might be, you know, I might be in an interview, I'm on do not disturb, or I'm doing this and that. It's just all about a conversation of just, you know, helping your partner feel comfortable. I feel like her and I, that's one of the things that, you know, I love the most, is just that we're able to talk about everything. You know what I mean? And
that's how it should be.
And it's never met, you know, I mean, sometimes can be met with resistance, but it's never in a space of, you know, it's always in a space of trying to be on the same team and accomplish the same goal. So it always works out in the end, but yeah.
That's how it should be.
I love hearing all this stuff from B, because I've seen B at his lowest, and I feel like I'm seeing B at, you know, a very high point in his life. And I'm just really happy. Like, I haven't met her yet, obviously, but, you know, me and B were very close. So of course, you know, at some point we'll meet. And, you know, I just love the fact that he found somebody that not only understands, you know, what he does, and I feel like supports him. So I think at the end of the day, we all want that. You know, we all want that that relationship where you feel like, that's my best friend and I'm gonna be in the corner. You know, as you see in his background, he is a Steph Curry fan. And and I love how Aisha and Steph are. You know, you can just see how supportive they are of each other. They're best friends. And, you know, that's goals for me. Like, obviously we don't know what happens in the relationship, you know, in private, but from, you know, what we do see, that's goals. So I'm just happy to see B have something similar.
I like that, because it's not easy. And I mean, I think that's the one thing, you know, we were already going to talk about when it comes to relationships, how it's important to apply yourself and to like meet your match. I saw this post about this guy who was reflecting on a relationship situation where this wife wanted to paint her patio black, right? And this is a husband and a wife. She wanted to paint her, it's kind of like a dock. It was old wood, and wanted to paint it black to make it look better. And the husband was like, the wood is old. Like, why the fuck are we going to paint it? Waste all the money, put in all that work when it's old. Like, let it be as it is. And she's like, well, I'm telling you, it's going to make the house look nice, whatever. So she starts doing it. She does it herself. And he's like, well, if you're going to do it, go ahead on and do it, because I'm not going to have to do it. Right. And it's fucked up, because something so minor like that is a reason why relationships, marriages, even friendships start shifting apart, because you don't see your partner's vision, specifically with a partner. Like you don't see your, or try to see your partner's vision. And so
Mhm.
this guy was like, as a man, he thought he was calling out the dude, saying it's fucked up, because the dude was actually recording his wife and kind of like jokingly making fun of her, like that she was painting this shit. And she's like, I don't know why she's painting it. She's wasting her time and money, blah, blah, blah. Instead of helping her, was like kind of clowning. And I'm sure they have some sort of, relationship where they make fun of each other, but still the bigger picture is you can't even support her. And now not only are you just not supporting her, or at least helping her out, but you're mocking her. And so the
Right.
dude that was kind of analyzing the video was like, listen, I think it's fucked up because people forget you have to apply yourself in relationships, and that comes with conversation, that comes with agreeing to disagree, and being able to see each other's perspective. Like if you have a vision, and whether it comes, it's about career, or your, I don't know, changing something from your house, it should be, let me hear what you got to say, and then, okay, well, I don't really like that, what do you think about this? And having that conversation where you're like, all right, let's meet halfway, instead of, I don't want to do it. Fuck it. And then the other person's like, man, I don't ever have his support. You know what I'm saying? That's when people start drifting apart. That's why it's like, it's so important to really be there and applying yourself for your partner, even when you don't see their vision, or even when you don't see where they're coming from. And I was telling Angie, like, I feel like it's important to talk about this, because when you have been in a relationship for so long, or even when you start dating, you get, time goes by so quick that you don't even realize when you go from being like freshly in the honeymoon stage to being hella comfortable around each other. And then
Yeah.
that comfort level, it goes so quick. And then you stop doing the little things, like having conversations, to go out to dinner, to the little things that you guys like each other. That's why it's good to regroup and really apply yourself. Just because you have someone does not mean it should stay content. Okay? Remember, we've talked about like, oh yeah, do dating and do the things that you used to do before, but it's even more than that. It's now like, what do you, babe, are you happy where you're at work? You're not? Why? What do you want to do different? And then it was like, well, honestly, I was thinking like we should move. And then people can easily go left with the, I am moving, like fuck that, instead of like, fuck, you want to move, like why? Tell me why, let's talk. And that is so important, those little conversations of like just telling each other how you feel about certain things, even if man, my partner may not like this, but I feel like I'm going to bring it up just to see if we can have conversation. If you can't even have a normal conversation where you're agreeing to disagree, there's a big problem in that relationship. And that's not to say I'm like Dr. Phil. Trust me, I've had many of these conversations with my man where we don't agree. And then sometimes it goes left where we don't talk to each other. And it's like, fuck, I end up thinking like, should it just end just because we don't agree, or should we try to find a way to make it work, and then we have the conversation. And sometimes one of you has to kind of like be the one to put your ego aside and just go and talk. And as hard as it is, fuck, we're not guaranteed another day, so why waste those moments, you know what I'm saying, with someone that's either not making you happy, or you're just holding in all this grudge, so at some point it's gonna burst, and then your partner's gonna be like, where the fuck is this coming from,
Yep.
So applying yourself and what you're doing to make sure your partner is good. I'm not gonna lie, I was there not long ago in my relationship, and we still find ways to like, all right, not we. I think I'll be honest and feel and say that I feel like I do more when it comes to that, but that's okay. I'll take the leading role as long as he's also following. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes we do that. We try to hold on to certain things because we let our ego get in the way instead of just really just having conversation. And how long have you been in your relationship, Killah?
It'll be a year in August. So
See,
almost a
so
year.
like, so now this is where it's like, okay, you're crossing that year, and just keep in mind those things that like, it's easy to get comfortable. Plus past relationships that you've dealt with, things that you learn from that. I think it's just so important. And when the dude was talking about that guy being an asshole for like, not only not helping his wife, but like making fun, I was like, man, it really makes you think like, where is my relationship at? Like, am I applying myself like Angie, taking accountability for yourself and what you do and don't do. So yeah. And I feel like it's even like that with dating, Ange, when you get to know people.
Yeah, I know for sure. One of my biggest things is not necessarily, well, yeah, like being a handyman and helping me out. Like that's a big deal. We've talked about this. My dad, my brothers, they're all
You
really
saw
good.
it.
Yeah, so I kind of expect that from a man, but if not, at least let's like YouTube some shit and like figure it out together, you know? Like I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
But I think for me it's a little different. I would really love a partner who supports my dreams and my goals and sees that vision with me. So if there's times that we need to not be together because I need to focus on the things that I need to focus on,
Mm-hmm.
but I would like for him to also focus on the things that he needs to focus on. Because what I've noticed is I've been with guys who don't necessarily have their own, you know, personal goals. And when I'm busy focusing on mine, that's when they go play. So, you know,
Sure.
that's why to me it's important. Is like we both busy, but we both support each other. At the end of the day, we know that overall this is for the bigger vision and we're both contributing to building together.
Yeah.
So for me in that aspect, you know, I don't have a patio to paint, so I'm not really worried about that, you know, but
Yeah.
I definitely want somebody who's going to help me build the patio, you know, like
Yeah.
I definitely want somebody who I can purchase a house with.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's at least for me, that's the goal. What about you, B?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So
My glass is also empty, so don't mind me. I'm not a
He's like,
drinker.
yeah, that's deep. Wait,
Wait,
No,
what?
yeah, no,
were
I'm
you
listening
smoking?
to you, but I didn't realize what the question was.
Well, basically, you know, we're basically just sharing like our point of view when it comes to this situation where, you know, the woman, you know, she had this vision of she wanted to paint the
Yeah.
patio, but the husband didn't necessarily agree with it, and he's just
Because he
letting
didn't
Oh,
her.
yeah.
see that vision, you know? And it's
Right.
like he could have at least tried. I feel like in situations like, you know, Angie or this guy, like there's certain things where like it's not normal or natural for you to do certain things, like even if you don't know how to fucking paint or whatever, but just understanding like, man, if that's going to make my girl happy, like fuck it. As much as I don't like the color she's choosing, I'm gonna do it, you know?
Mhm.
Those things I feel like are important. And I feel like what I'm just trying to ask you is like, what is something that you would do to apply yourself, or how would you apply yourself? Has there been something in your relationship, because you are now going on a year, where you realize like maybe there are certain things that I should do better, or maybe she's, you know, got some things that we need to talk about? I mean, and again, you don't have to get too
Oh,
personal,
yeah.
but you
Oh,
know.
no, yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Well, first of all, about the dude and his recording his wife, I feel like that's corny though, right? Because it's one thing to
Yeah.
like disagree, and
Mhm.
that's cool. And even if you're gonna have your wife out there doing it by herself, it's like, all right, that's cool too. But you can't be filming it.
I
You know what I mean?
know.
And
Kind of
even if it
belittling.
is, yeah, like you said, even if it is their relationship and they just joke around like that, I would never even want the optic to be like I'm making fun of my wife or making fun of my girl. You know what I mean? Or like
Yeah.
trying to put her down in any type of way. Like I wouldn't even want that to be like I wouldn't even want it to look like that. So that
That's
is for
that.
sure,
Yeah.
like nah. But no, I think there's definitely there's definitely been times where maybe we may be having a disagreement or argument or whatever, and I'll have to like check myself. Like you say, you talk about like your ego and this and that, where I may feel like my point of view or where I'm coming from is right. And there may be times where I gotta say, like, yo, like, first of all, you need to check the energy. Cause again, I go back to like, yo, we're on the same team and we're trying to accomplish the same goal. I need to check my energy, maybe not come to this conversation so so combative or so riled up or so upset. You know what I mean? So if that
Yeah.
means like taking a second to like really reevaluate and really understand. You know what I mean? That's and then me too. I like to really understand. So if I'm upset before, just kind of this is what I'm getting better at. This is what I'm working on
Mhm.
versus just reacting and just going with whatever my reaction is in that moment. I really try to sit and be like, okay, like this just happened. Why am I upset?
Why?
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like what's going on? And then it goes to like, oh well, am I really upset because of this, or is it just because this, and this, and this, and this? And it be sometimes, like I said, man, me and my girl will get into it, and at the end of it, it'll just be me being like, yo, man, I just really miss you, and that's like, I just wanted to talk to you.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? And it'll just kind of be like,
Yeah.
and then she'll just be like, yo, that's all you had to say. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, yeah, I just kind of had to work
Aw.
my way up to it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
But
little
that's important.
cancer.
I got real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that right there is so valuable in relationships, no matter how long or how short your relationship has been.
Mhm.
Just because I was telling Angie before, when it comes to like accepting that you're wrong, it's so hard to do, especially when you're in the midst of the anger, like you said, the energy's like up here. You're both like on the edge, and it's hard to admit that. But let me tell you, Killah, that you just said right now, if men did that in relationships, do you understand how quick you'd be able to bring down the elevation that your girl's in right now?
Oh, that's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Great.
And it's something
Great.
so easy, like so little. This is why, like, man, relationships are hard when you make it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have to be that way. And trust me, it's taking a lot to fucking do that. But those little things like that, like where you fucking, you know what? I'm be honest with you, I just missed you. It's so hard to fucking say it, but once it's out and you realize, like, oh shit, she took that in well, then
Right.
you're like, fuck, that's all I had to say. And sometimes too, like he'll say shit like, I'm gonna clean the fucking bathroom. I'm like, you getting head tonight. Like just simply, that's it. And I tell him this all the time, but sometimes he forgets. He's like, I'm like, dude, if you just do the little things that you know I fucking love, it's gonna get you somewhere or get you some head. Either way, it's a win-win. You know,
it just makes the day go so much better.
It does
for both of us, for everybody.
For everybody.
For everybody involved.
And sometimes like it's not to say that it's easy, because let me tell you, it took, I'm sure it took
it's
Killah a
definitely not.
minute to be like, fuck, I'm
Definitely
just gonna
not.
say I miss you, all right? And it sucks that we live fucking this long distance relationship, which by the way, that in itself is hella hard. I don't know how you guys doing that, because that's hard. I did it for a year, a little over a year, and that it's fucking hard. People, yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
I'm over it. Trust me, I'm over it.
Yeah. So are you planning to like make a move?
You know, I mean, we've definitely had discussions, so you know, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk too much into it, but I'm curious though to meet your girl, just because like knowing you and being a female, knowing you for so long, like it's interesting for us as friends to like know, like, because we know you're a good dude, right? And your girl obviously saw that, and so it's like it's interesting to see like her point of view, like, oh, what attracted you to him? Because yeah, we've known he's been a good guy, like we've known, but like what made you actually take the time to go DM? Because that shit would be hard as women, like it's hard to do. So I give her fucking props for that. That, and then two, this also can mean, Angie, that your man's is somewhere in your followers. I'm just saying, there's potential. Your man could be following you, has been following you for the last 3 years like Killah's did. I'm just saying.
Well, the difference is he's probably been seeing my life for the last 3 years, and he's like, this girl, hot ass mess, just a hot ass mess. He probably done followed me and he probably muted me after a while. But I do, you know, I do have my collective of DMs that I don't respond to. So you're right. I might need to go in there and respond to, you know, somebody who I feel is like a high quality man. You're absolutely right.
Missed opportunities. T-Pain had said that that's the one thing he just started. Y'all know he just started checking his DMs, and so much has come from that, because he was, I mean, he's been in a relationship for so long, he ain't even worried about no DMs, didn't understand how DMs work. But when he did, and look at Killah, I'm just saying this would be a sign.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. I think, as a matter of fact, no, I'm joking. I'll do it after the show. But you know, I guess for me, because I've been, you know, Killah is definitely my day one, and we shared so much with each other that, you know, of course, I've always wanted to see him be happy with somebody, and I always knew that, you know, he's a great guy. And of course, I always tie it out to him being a Cancer man. You know, he always like sensitive and, you know, shows his emotions.
That's me.
But you know what I'm also learning about men, just in general, most men are that way, and they were never taught to express their emotions, and they never had the safe place to be able to do so.
They mask it.
Exactly. So what I am hoping for is to be able to create that space and to let my partner feel okay with expressing his feelings, with crying if he needs to, feeling okay with just being himself, and not feel like he always has to show this, you know, super masculine, toxic energy. And he can just tell me, hey, baby, I'm acting up because I miss you. Okay. Like if he said that I'm catching a flight right now.
Right
Like
the fuck
right
now.
now.
Yeah. It's the little things, ladies. But yeah, man, it's dope. It's dope to see you. Congratulations on your new relationship.
Thank you. And like I said, with that being said, ladies, don't be afraid. If y'all see somebody you like, go and shoot your shot. And it don't gotta be overt, because like I'll tell you, it doesn't even have to be like super obvious. My girl was real smooth with it. I told her it was one line. It was one line in the DM that made me be like, okay, let me see what's up.
Wow.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have responded the way I responded. But she told me, she said at the very end, she said, you know, if you're ever in LA, hit me up and maybe we can go grab a drink or something like that.
That's smooth.
And that's what I said, because before we were kind of just talking about something pertaining to her show. And when she said that, I was kind of like, that don't sound like she just talking to me as a fan. Like, you know, I actually had to hit my boy and be like, yo, what you think she mean by this? And he was just kind of like, well, I don't think she just would tell that to anybody. So respond accordingly, you know. So, yeah, that's what I did.
Like that. You know, I've been hit up with that. Like if you ever, but see, that's the thing about fucking being in entertainment, because with me, like my first instinct is to think that men have good intentions. I don't know why. With me being an entertainer, and this is why my dad never wanted me to be in radio, because he knew how men think. Most men, not all. He didn't want me to be in radio, and I never understood why until I actually got into radio. I was like, oh, you don't want me to be like you, because my dad got some stories, let me tell you. But like I've had men that hit me up, right? And like it'll be comedians, it'll be fucking artists, it'll be athletes that hit me up, and then they'll hit me on some like, oh, I'm gonna be in your town. Or sometimes when they're coming into the valley, and they know that I do radio here and I'm like morning show, they'll hit me up, right? And me, this taken mind who's loyal, that doesn't cross my mind to feel like I'm flirting. So I'll be like, yeah, slide through the station, like let's meet up, or I'll take you and I'm thinking like I'll take you to, because they'll be like, oh yeah, what's the best burger place or whatever, blah blah blah. And I'm thinking like, oh, Doghouse, I'm gonna take you to Doghouse. Little do I know, they weren't trying to have no fucking good burger, they were trying to have my fucking fun, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's like, yeah, so it sucks because but it's a good line though. It's like the whole like let's next time you're in town, let's link up. That's a good one.
It's a nice way to just throw out the bait. And if the person takes it, they take it. And if not, no harm, no foul. Keep it pushing. Because
she didn't do too much. Because I feel like if she would have done a little too much, you would have been like, I don't know if that's too much. Yeah. She did just enough for you to be like, okay, I'm in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. My dumb ass would be like, so we getting married or not?
Yeah. It'd be like unseen for good. Like you never respond to that shit. Okay, let's talk about something that's trending. So everyone right now is talking about Britney Spears. We've talked about this for a while too. Because it's been an ongoing thing. So the hashtag Free Britney Spears has been going on for so long. And now we're to the point where there's potential for her to be free from the conservatorship, which she's had for years. So the latest is that her father is not going to get out of the conservatorship, right, Angie? Her father is not able to, or the judge doesn't want to grant that just yet, but it's temporary. Like not temporary. It just doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So what I hear is that her lawyer, her attorney has to file the paperwork, and then they can proceed with that, possibly moving forward with, her being out of this conservatorship. There's two ways she can go. One is she could either ask for a different conservator. So like have her, maybe have a Thea or someone do it for her, which would be harder for her to even get out of that completely. Or two, to opt out, to show that she's been able to work, she's been able to make all these calls on her own, and should be allowed to make her own money since she's working for that money, So I believe her lawyer, the latest is her lawyer is going to go through with putting in the paperwork to try to, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but to try to get her out of that, because completely, because as we know, she's been able to do all these fucking performances. She's been able to kill it. The only thing she hasn't been able to do is make the call on her, what she can do. By the way, I hear the conservatorship even stopped her from being able to post captions that she wants. Like before she would post, how you guys have read her shit, it's kind of weird, random. So she has to submit that to a team that then goes over it and then approves it, like you would at a radio station, anything in entertainment. So like it sucks that she couldn't even write her own captions without it being proofread by somebody else. So though all of that would be out of the window if she does go through with this. But for now, her father still has to be the one. And he is saying, by the way, that it's not true, that he actually hasn't made calls for her for I don't know how long. It's been a couple years according to him. But I don't know. I mean, now it's like he said, she said, you know what I'm saying? And by the way, the conservatorship is obviously a legal way to be able to maintain someone. So that's typically they give conservatorships to older people or who can't, make calls on their own or, make moves on their own.
Right.
So that goes until like they pass away and like, then the conservatorship dies there. But people like Brittany, who's still young, who obviously wants to have a family and can't, she's got an IUD in her system that she wants to, be free of or break free of. So who knows? Right now, we don't know what's going to happen. But the latest is that her father, does it. I just think it's a trip to me because I'm like, normally we go to family to look out for us, to hold us down. And I think at some point it was meant to be to protect her. And somewhere along the lines, like, I think that dad loved the fact that he didn't have to work anymore, all he had to do is tell his daughter what to do and he'd be good. And that's fucked up because money will change people in a major way so many times. Like I've lost friends over money and career positions, and it sucks because you don't think that someone that you know and love or have really known forever that will change like this because they got big headed or whatever the case. And in this case, like it was her own fucking father, but I lost friends over shit like that, and it fucking sucks. So imagine your fucking father, who is like your protector, who's supposed to be the one to look out from everybody, is the one fucking you over. Like it sucks. So
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully she gets the freedom that she deserves, because I feel like, do you think that even if she was free, she would continue working, or she would be like, man, fuck this. I need freedom from a break from life. Do you think she'll pull like a what's his name? Dave Chappelle, how he just left, you know what I'm saying? And was gone for a minute.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she did that. Because if you think about it, right, and everything that she said, and just this case and her trying to get out of this conservatorship is, the final point is she's like, yo, like all of this stuff that y'all want me to do, I don't want to do it. I want to do the exact opposite. Like you said, the fact that she, that she is, seems like she's of sound mind and body, but literally doesn't have agency over her own body. You know what I'm saying? Man. Over the, the can't even be a mom, or you know what I mean? Can't even do these things that she really wants to and wants out of life. So with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't blame her. And to be honest with you, I would love that for her. If that's her decision, I would love that if Britney Spears could just, go disappear and finally get that life, with her kids and have a family. Finally get that life that maybe she wanted to always kind of have and obtain. It's just sad, man. It's wild, man. The whole story is wild. It's crazy that, that someone can say, hey, you're not fit to take, you're not fit to take care of yourself. So I'm in charge of you now. And you have very little say, and it's very difficult for you to get that power back. And I get why, this is in place. And it's just the door is wide open for situations like this where people can get abused and taken advantage of. And it's just, it's horrible, man.
And publicly.
Public. It's awful, man. You hate it. I hope Britney is able to just finally be free and just live how she want to live. But whatever that is, that's what I want to see, man, because it's just, it's sad when you think about it, man. It's so, and it's crazy because so many people's lives, have kind of been sacrificed for our entertainment. Man. And I think a lot of people maybe don't realize it. And it's tough, man. So, the Britney stuff is crazy, man. It's been wild to follow.
Yeah, I saw a movie actually where a woman made a career out of doing this specifically of basically she would get the conservatorship of older people. It was always usually
No way.
elderly people. And she would do just that. She would control their money. She would sell their house. She would, do all these things. And pretty much, it's the legal system and how it's set up. And, it's crazy to see that somebody can have that much power over your life.
Right.
I think for Brittany, me being like super independent woman, I'm all for her coming back and, doing, these shows, maybe have a residency in Vegas again.
Because people will go and support.
Hell yeah, I'll be
like,
there.
knowing,
Shit.
right. Knowing like this is something she wants to do, like she's
Right.
choosing. And even if she gives us all the bops she's had, because that's really all she's had. Every song she released,
it's
was a
Britney,
bop.
bitch. That's all I want to
Right.
hear. That's all I want to hear
Right.
is Britney, bitch. And then I need her to come out with the snake.
Yeah, and she's gonna do it. She could be 60 years old and she still be able to make a comeback at the same outfits like Wendy Williams. I just saw that she said she gonna be old and coming out with the same outfits. I was like, and I wouldn't be mad at that.
I would
People
not
like
be mad.
God, who does she compare to? I think Cher. People like Cher still do things like that, where you live off of the thing that people love you for, know. And
it's
trust
classic.
me, I'd pay to go see that.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, you guys know, like, we've lived in an amazing era of music.
We sure
I think just in general, like, we've seen some shit being in our time, So like, if I had to choose, if God was like, hey, when you trying to go back, I'd be like, from 1984 until, because like it's been lit. And specifically, when Britney was out, we saw so many amazing things as far as like just in life in general, but the music, it's classic. I'm gonna be in my 60s being like, I'm a slave, but like I'm absolutely gonna be out there on the dance floor. So and I'm not even like a pop fan, but it's something about Britney that we've all fell in love with, and
she's an icon.
Absolutely. So I'm rooting for her to be able to come back stronger than ever. We saw Beyonce. She went through something similar with her dad, where her dad used to manage her, and then she kind of broke away from that. And then we saw her, do her own thing and just ultimately build this amazing empire. So I would love that for Britney, but unfortunately, I do feel like her time in entertainment has taken a toll on her mental health. And I would actually prefer for her to be able to be a mother and to enjoy a life that she never knew. She's never known what it's like to not be in the spotlight like she has been. So
she didn't get to take a break by choice,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But I feel like too, in the beginning, if you really think back, right, when she shaved her head, a lot of the youngsters are gonna be like, wait, what? Who's but like, if you think back, right, when she shaved her head, remember she had just had her kids too, or one of them, and so maybe there was like postpartum depression she was dealing with, and people just like clocked her out as crazy, and it's so fucked up because that. I think now people are raising more awareness when it comes to postpartum depression and being a mother and going through these. Y'all see, I don't know if you guys did see it, but this girl in LA that killed her 2 kids. Did you guys see that?
God,
this girl, and people are saying basically it could have been postpartum depression, but basically her husband went to work, and she killed her 2 babies. One of them was like a month old or just like a newborn, killed her babies. And then, oh no, she got arrested. She was trying to kill herself. So it's like postpartum depression is so real. So now like you look back, right? You look back and you think like, man, Britney was just dealing with some shit. And because she was so popular, people just clocked her off as crazy. I was looking back at some of the headlines that I would see in the news. Like if you Google it, you will see all they did was shit on her. And back then, because paparazzi was such a big deal, remember TMZ was dope to like see everyone follow her. It was so dope to see that, but we didn't realize like we were really watching someone like deteriorate before our eyes. And to us, it was entertaining to follow. And now it's like you feel guilty because you feel like, fuck, she was really going through some shit. And all these years later, she's really lost a big chunk of her life having to do whatever her father says. And I hear her allowance was only like $2,000. Mind you, remember when she was doing the X Factor?
Oh yeah.
Dude, when she was doing the X Factor, making all that money, she was only getting $2,000 a month. Month.
That's
so like all this money she was still doing while working. Clearly she was sane enough to work.
Right.
And her dad was okay with just giving her this $2,000 like that. It's a lot, man. Hopefully she gets her freedom, like you said. and we want Britney back, bitch.
Free Britney, bitch.
Yes. But speaking of music, I know Killah, you love you know, breaking down music and stuff. I don't know if you've heard the rumor, but I was like, hey, maybe this is something that you'd want for your next episode. I just saw that Drake and Nicki Minaj. Did you see the rumor about that?
No. What's going on with them?
Okay, so Drake and Nicki Minaj. Well, Nicki Minaj recently dropped her mixtape, but it was now available on iTunes, right?
Yeah,
and she did that Green Bean. What was it called?
Beat Me Up, Scotty.
Beat Me Up, Scotty. Yes.
Yeah.
She was talking about it on her Instagram live, and then Drake hopped on. So of course I was watching because I knew she was gonna have somebody on. Drake hopped on, and they were talking about like, hey, let's link up, let's talk. Because remember, there was kind of a weird situation between her and Drake because she hooked up with Meek, and then Meek, and that whole situation was crazy. Well, the latest I'm hearing is that he was in her recording studio because she has a studio in her home, and he was pictured wearing a YMCMB hoodie. And so people are like, either they're collaborating or he's dropping an album. So I'm gonna need you to deep dive into that, because I feel like you would be able to drop some dope knowledge on that. And like,
well, we got it, man. We got to see, because I'm a little confused since you brought up the music, man. I know we ain't gonna go too crazy, but I'm a little upset with some of these artists, man. Drake is up there. Drake was supposed to drop his album in January, bro.
Yeah.
And it's July, so I don't know what he doing. And you know another two artists specifically that I'm getting real mad at is Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak.
Wait, why?
They're playing with our emotions too much. They did the Silk Sonic. They left the door open, and then they walked right through that.
Literally, you're right.
They need to come back with some music, bring the album back. I'm ready to close the door. I want another song, man. I'm tired of,
Nah, you're right.
Yeah, what's going on with Silk Sonic?
Let's talk about that real quick, because I very vaguely discussed this on air and never written back to that conversation, but it's very true. Like, they were giving us the vibes of, we're about to drop a fucking whole album.
They were coming. They were on a whole press run.
Yeah. I wonder what happened.
Something happened.
Either they didn't agree on something, or their teams did. Because it's just so weird how they're just not talking about it at all. And it went from promoting Silk Sonic, not Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. It was Silk Sonic. You guys got to call this group name. They performed at the iHeart Awards, and then
it was everywhere, man.
Yeah. So you're right. I want to know now. Yeah, I'm gonna do.
I'm excited for that. I'm ready for that.
Right. That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
That's gonna be good. Okay, so let's talk about I don't know if you guys have seen the TikTok of let's see. It says, what's something you get a lot of hate for if you said out loud? Did you guys see the video of the guys talking about he likes it in a booty hole?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, which, by the way, is very valid. I feel like men have come a long way. You can own it, because I feel like y'all know it's normal. I think people want to know. And the guy said it like he's trying to normalize it, but I think now, as we've evolved, we've all come to realize that you're not necessarily gay because you like some back there or a little tickle in the pickle.
Right.
I just feel like let's normalize that, because at some point we all know now the anatomy of the body of a male body is that you guys have the G-spot back there. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, that's so true. I feel like there was more men agreeing with him than disagreeing.
Right.
I feel like there were more men yeah, he right, he ain't lying.
They're like, normalize it.
Right. Let's normalize this. Let's make it normal, y'all. And then people are showing their wives ain't that funny, babe? Yeah. I know what you're doing there. You want your girl to tickle it. But anyway, so it got me thinking, what are some things that I got a few popped into my mind, but I want to hear your guys. It's what is something that you would get a lot of hate for if you said it out loud? And it's generally something you believe in. It could be anything. Y'all got something?
I mean, I think that story of my life, I'm always saying something that people don't agree with. So I'm okay with speaking first. I'm okay with going first. So,
okay.
All right. So just because a woman has a mixed child, it doesn't mean that's all I date. I do not just date black men, y'all. I'm so tired of guys being like,
Say a letter for the people in the back.
oh, you just like black D. And I'm like, I like it, but that's not I prefer, you know, like it would be nice to bring a Latino man home so he can speak Spanish to my parents. It would be nice to watch my novelas without having to have subtitles. It would be nice to be able to go to a Mexican party and for him to get equally drunk with me and to, you know, like for him to just know what's about to go down. It is so hard sometimes to bring somebody who is not of, you know, the same race and for him to feel like he's out of place or just to feel uncomfortable, you know. So
are you saying you're not dating black men anymore?
I won't exclude, but I'm saying that's not all
Killah,
I
how
date.
You feel about that, Killah? How you feel about
that's
that?
not all I date. That's all. That's
I
my
mean,
point.
You know, once you go black, you never go back.
No, you did not.
You
No,
know what
you
I
did
mean?
not hit
So
us.
I understand. I understand how Angie feels.
Wait,
no, but
elaborate? Why do you understand how she feels?
No, I mean, I'm saying I understand how she feels in terms of just the cultural aspect of it. You know, want somebody to, you know, to where it's not that cultural gap, you know what I mean? Where, especially when there's a language barrier involved, you know what I mean? Like you said, that really makes things difficult. So I understand that, but I also understand, like I said, I know Angie, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
And you know, it's so funny because that's what I thought too. I'm like, Angie, I don't know. Because the thing is, you can't help but have a preference. And sometimes like I feel like it's shunned upon to have a preference. And like when people say something like, oh, I don't like Latinas, I don't get offended because to me, I'm just like, that's your preference. You have a right to feel that way. Like, and there are, you know, Latinos who feel a certain way. They're like, well, fuck you. And it's like, nah, like, it's not. We should all be able to have an opinion, just like we should all be able to say how we feel, as long as it's not hurting someone or you're not physically, you know, trying to shit on someone or physically trying to shit on someone. Oh my God, that sounds
no, you really don't want to shit on somebody.
You really don't want to shit on
some
someone.
people like that, guys. Let's normalize that.
That's true. Two girls, one cup. Two girls, one cup was fucking famous for a reason.
Oh God, I remember that.
But no, but that was nasty. That was fucking nasty. I was like, dude, is this really where like sex is going? Because I don't want it. I don't want it. I'll go to nun. I'll be a nun. Like, but no, yeah, it's true. Like, I feel like because you have a black child, people assume that. And the thing is too, like, because Killah, I got two kids, right? I got a black child, full black, not full, half black, half Mexican, and then I have a full Mexican child. So you can't come and tell me that, oh, you only date black people. Nope. I've clearly let two of them dip in. So all I'm saying is it's all about what you attract. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I chose, yes, my current man is black, but it's not like I'm like specifically going to only meeting black men. Like it's a preference. It's like you meet
like what you like. Yeah.
You like what you like. And sometimes I'll be honest with you, what you like attracts you. So like it comes to you or you see it or you're out and about, like, so it is what it is. And people will have a problem with you saying that. Angie.
Yeah, I think for me, it's, so I'm a little opposite of B's girl. I don't normally, you know, approach a guy. So it's kind of like I only choose from the guys that approach me. And, you know, if like that's all, but
that may be the problem.
Yeah,
you might gotta go get what you want, Ange.
Yeah,
I mean, I might have to go to the carniceria and, you know, just chill out there for a bit, or go to the taqueria and
go ahead and pick a number and relax for a little bit.
Pick a number and just hang in there, and then we'll grab another one so you find the right one.
I'll be like, do you guys have that tube steak? You know, like carne asada, you know.
Killah, what's yours? What's something you would say?
Okay, I feel like this one might not go over well here. I'm gonna say it anyways.
Okay, go on, come on.
So I believe it. As I've gotten older, and as I've dated, and as I've you know, had conversations with various people, I've come to realize that a lot of relationships, most relationships, in my opinion, would be better off, much more happier, much more healthier, if you allowed your partner to maybe go out and have their fun, if they need be.
Wait.
Now, I'm not saying.
Wait. wait.
No. Hear me out.
You're both like, wait a minute.
Hear me out. If you created this space, right?
Okay, we're hearing you.
Created this space where there's so much communication and there's so much honesty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're human. This is a fact. We're all human.
Okay.
We all have urges.
Some are aliens.
True. Very
now
true.
we know that.
But we all have urges. We all have needs.
Right.
And I think that if people really just had a conversation about how they feel about their partner, baby, I love you. Baby, I love you too. Baby, I'm not going nowhere. It's you. Baby, I feel the same way. But baby, so over here, be looking real nice. And I love you and I don't want to go nowhere.
Okay.
I want to go have some fun over here, baby.
He said, baby, I just want to get my stick somewhere.
Maybe if you're down, you can join in too.
Little menage a trois.
Whatever. But I'm just saying, I think if we didn't cringe so much at this stuff and maybe thought about it a little bit, and talked about it, like I said, because I've talked to married people where they're like, yo, like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave my husband or wife. I don't want to leave my relationship. I have kids. I have this and that. But I want something else. I want to go experience something else for a little bit. Not even for a little bit, but just for a night. I just want to do that. Right. I just want to restore the feeling. You know what I'm saying? And you have this understanding. You have this agreement. You know what I'm saying? You guys are both on the same page because there's this communication and there's this respect and there's this honesty. I think that if done responsibly and if done the right way, I think that would benefit a lot of relationships. Yeah. And I think it would almost completely eliminate cheating, right? Because you don't even feel like, oh, I gotta cheat or I gotta be sneaky. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like, man, my girl is cool. Like, we can have a conversation. Now, granted, fellas, if you're listening, I'm not saying that your girl is just gonna be down for it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's an easy conversation to bring up. I'm not saying this, but there is a way to do it. There is a way to approach it. And, without making it sound like, oh, I just want to go fuck other women. You know what I mean? Right. When, it can be a way to really help and benefit a relationship. And that's something that I've always kind of thought and believed in, especially over the past few years of just kind of like growing up. But also, I've been watching this show Sex Life on Netflix, and it's kind of just confirmed all of that for me.
You being inspired by a show.
Well, no, I'm just like, man, like, you have this understanding with your person and you're like, hey, like, this is what I'm looking for. I just feel like you once you create that space, it's easier to find a common ground, like I said, and then it maybe can be something that becomes fun. You know what I mean? And not when you're approaching it in a way of, you're approaching it as a couple, as a relationship, versus
like
looking
we're
at
doing
it
this together.
Right. Versus looking at it as just like, oh, I'm about to just go out here and be reckless and hook up with whoever. Like, no. Let's not, you know what I'm saying? We're not saying you're single in a relationship. There's obviously boundaries. There's obviously things that one person's comfortable with that another person may want, or, it's a conversation. It's a compromise eventually, as a guy, or whoever coming to the table with this, you're not going to get what you want fully. You know what I mean? The other person may not get what they want, but you come together and you talk about it. And then I think too, you know what I mean? And if you do that and you maybe feel like you want to cheat and then your partner not going for it, that again too, may be a clue for you of, hey, maybe this is not working out. We might got to reevaluate some things before we even get to where, I do something really messed up. So that's my take. I know people not gonna agree, but I don't know, man. I think it's something to it.
Go ahead, Angie.
So is she able to go do the same? Is she able to go get some new D? Because I'd be like, cool. Miami, here I come.
Yeah, 100%.
So she would be.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, if we have a conversation about it, it's not a one-way thing.
Okay. Now, 2. Is this you having the conversation with your girl, since she's gonna watch this?
Oh, me personally? Oh no, this is not me having the conversation.
Okay. But this
like
is
something you gotta ask.
I'm not giving out too much, but like I said, me and my girl we talk about everything.
Right.
Good. That's good.
Right.
No, this
So
is
we've had similar conversations, you know what I mean? It's we don't have no type of like agreement or nothing like that, but we've had.
he said, I'm getting there. It's not there yet. She
No,
hasn't
no,
really-
no, no,
I'm
no,
working
not
on
even
it.
I'm
I was
working on it.
hoping. I was
No.
hoping when she hears this will be a clue.
no, no, it's not even like that. But just, you know, it's just like I say, I think we just have a common understanding about certain things, and you know, like I said, man, if I ever felt like that, I wouldn't feel the need to cheat because
Yeah.
you know,
There's something to it. I feel like that conversation is important. Like, I think it is, because if we're being honest, the reason why people cheat is that they, like, a lot of the times they don't want to leave their partners. Even when I've been cheated on, I know it's not that they want to leave, because they would have just left, right?
right.
And it, in a sense, I mean, cheating is obviously a form of selfishness, because you know you want this person and you want to be with that person, but you also want to have fun, but you don't want to lose this person that you know is great and could potentially be a wifey at some point. So, you know, that's why people cheat most of the time. But I feel like with this conversation, it's all like, it's funny and all, but it's also, there's some truth to that. I feel like you're right. Like, there is some truth to the fact that if we just, it's open, it's out there, and we have this conversation and we both can agree, like, this is something we're going to do together. It's where it obviously works a lot for celebrities. And in a sense, I understand why it works for celebrities, but in the real world over here, like, to be honest with you, I've had this conversation with my man before, and it wasn't so like, oh, you go and do you. I just, you know, being with someone for so long, again, going on 10 years.
She wanted some new D. Let's just keep it real. She just wanted some new D.
No, I said, I
I
was
feel like
willing.
it's natural.
No, yeah, no, I told him, I said, and I started off by saying, be honest with me. Like, is this something that you would want to do? And I'll be honest with you. And he's like, you know, I obviously don't want to make you feel bad, but I think the way he answered it was by saying, any man would. Any man would. And I was like, it's true. That's a safe way to answer it, because I think it feels harsh to say, yeah, I do want to fuck another pussy. You know, it feels like, if that would hurt, that would sting your girl. So I think his way of responding was the right way to do it. Like, oh, most men would. And then he asked me, and I'm like, honestly, yeah. But then I started thinking, and I'm like, I don't know if I can handle it though. That's the thing. It sounds fun, and it sounds like it's something we can do, but it's just, it would be hard. And obviously we didn't end up doing it because he couldn't handle me moving on.
Right.
You know?
And I was waiting for that. Yes. I was waiting for him to say yes. Cause I was like, okay, girl, we about to go out
we're
here.
going to Vegas. So, yeah. So really that's what it came down to. It came down to the fact that I said, would you be willing to try? He's like, I know you crazy. Like, you're setting me up to answer this. I was like, normally, yeah, I would agree that I'm setting you up,
Right.
but I'm not. Like, I really want to know if this is something that you would want to do. And I realized as we were talking and as we moved on from that, that it was more so me doing it because I was trying to keep from, because, you know, there was some infidelity going on in our relationship at some point. He didn't fully cheat, but there was a flirting and stuff like that. And so that's why. And I feel like I was trying to make up, and I was trying to, like, instead of getting him to, like, or finding out that he's going to cheat on me eventually, I was like, well, should we do this? And I was like, nah, fuck that. If we're going to do this, we should be in a healthy state where we both are on the same page, where we both trust each other, where we both, you know that we wouldn't cross that line.
Definitely.
So I don't want to do it just because I feel like this is the only way you're not going to cheat on me. Like, that's no fun for me, right? It's only going to be fun for you.
Yeah.
So that's why, but we never touched that conversation again. But to be honest, I honestly feel there is some truth to the fact that, you know, if it is out on the table, you both have an agreement, there is nothing wrong with that. But it is harder for women to be able to accept the fact that your man, and even for men too, I feel like, but that your partner is being with someone else, especially when you love them. It's like, it sounds fun, and it's like, fuck, am I gonna hurt after I, like, know that it's done and she got laid by someone else and he got laid by someone else, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard.
Shout out to Kaylani, because, you know, Kaylani was very open about her open situation with YG, and how YG fumbled that bag, I don't know, but you
talk about communication, man.
But they did though. They did communicate with each other about they thought they were on the same, at least for her, she was like, I thought we knew what the agreement was, and he still went behind my back.
She communicated more than he did.
Obviously.
He could have just said, to be honest, I'm not ready to just be yours, but I do fuck with you. I really like you. I really want you by my side.
Right.
I'm not ready to just be yours.
And the cherry on top of that, she wasn't even trying to mess with nobody else. She was just more like,
he had
I'm busy, I'm busy, but I know you're a man and you got, so to me, I just think that whatever works for you as a couple, y'all do that, because I've seen couples that have done the open thing and then they're perfectly happy now, and they tried it and it didn't work for them, or they tried it and it worked for them. So I say that in your relationship, whatever works for both of y'all, then, do it, as long as, like B said, as long as it's healthy, y'all both understand what it is. We're adults, like we are in our 30s and we've lived some life, and there's no need to be hiding how you feel about, a relationship. Hey, if being with one person is hard for you, then say that. If you like different peen, say that.
And I think that too, because I have a friend, and I've told Angie, I've been trying to get her on the show. She is a high school friend of mine. I love her. Was my ride or die, has been my ride or die. We don't talk every day, but she got married, right? And I'm like, so what's the secret? Like, you guys, they're always having fun. They're always out and about. Mind you, they got kids. So I'm like, it's harder to have fun all the time when you got kids. So what's the fucking secret? And then she tells me that they're in an open relationship, which I would have never known, because that's something that they've kept to themselves.
Right.
And I was like, wait, how? Because, she has a child with another man, and the whole thing was that he would not stop fucking around on her. And I was like, how did that work? Like, because your ex used to do it behind your back, and like now you're allowing this guy to do it. Like, how? She's like, I don't know. It was just a conversation we had. And obviously she's older now. And she's like, it's a conversation we had. And then he like said, what would you be down to do something like this? And it started off as a swingers party. They had a swingers party, and then it was something that they enjoyed doing together.
Right.
And I was like, so are you getting dick? She's like, yeah. Like, I was like, oh shit. And it works for them. And every now and then I go over checking up, like, oh shit, they're still going strong. I'm like, it's working. So it works for some people. And I asked her as a recent, I said, hey, y'all still fucking around? Because, from time to time she'll slide in my DMs.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, y'all still fucking around? Like with other men? She's like, honestly, no, we haven't. But it's not like we closed that door. He's like, it just hasn't happened. But see, they were able to get to that point where it didn't always have to be they're walling out. It's just that they have an understanding. So it's hard to get to that. And you really got to have someone who has tough skin, because that is hard. But you are able to do that.
Yeah. I've been invited to the party, and it was kind of crazy because like I knew them. Like there was a couple that I knew, and she basically found me attractive. And so he was like, so, and I was like, nah, player, I'm not.
Because that's your friend. It was a friend.
Yeah, they were, they were friends. So that's why I was like, nah, and I just felt like, I'm not trying to get involved with that. But it does turn some women on to see their man with another woman. So that's why I think, they were like, she's the perfect one to, join the party. But I like respectfully declined because, I was like, I'm just not trying to get involved with this. But I can't really speak on it because I'm not in a relationship. So I don't know how I would feel if my man was like, hey, I'm trying to go, get something else. Cause I'd be like, well, then I'm going to go and do something else. I think at this point in my life, I'm all about, if I had to pay 50 on these bills, then I have the freedom to go get some peace somewhere else. And that's that.
It's hard, Killah. It's a good conversation for sure. But
and I think even like you said, Carmen, like I know we're wrapping this up, but just it's not a I know I jumped right to the being with other people, but like you said in the example you gave, it doesn't start like that. It'll never start like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It normally starts as something of just like, because when you want to cheat, there's usually something missing from your relationship, right?
Right.
So let that be that starting point of be like, hey, like, this is what I feel like I'm missing. This is what I'm looking for. Let's explore some new stuff together and see, you know what I mean? What works for the both of us. So, I'm not saying you jump right to to the, hey babe, I'm about to go fuck shorty I met on Instagram today. You know what I mean? Like you don't jump straight to that, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a gradual process that you work up to. And like you said, because it again, it's building that trust, it's building that understanding, building that communication between you two. Because it's new, it's a new part of the relationship. So you got to work up to it.
And like Angie said, it is like for most women, I feel like, because so far every woman I've asked, and even Angie says, you know, that it is a turn on kind of, but the hard part is being able to get over it once it's the deed is done.
Right.
It's like when you're watching porn and you get it off and then you're like, all right, I'm good, let's go get a sandwich.
All right, let me log off.
You know, you get what I'm saying? Just like when most men when most men end relationships, like they fuck and or not in relationship, but they're just like fuck buddies or whatever, and then you're like, is your Uber coming? It's like you're enjoying it for the moment. And that's how I feel about these open relationships. It's like it sounds so fun. Like I think I would be turned on to see my man getting some, but how will I feel after? Like, you know, that's where I got to work on.
It's all fun and games until a baby comes into the picture with
that
the other woman. Okay,
Carmelo Anthony. We don't want a Carmelo Anthony. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
All right, your turn, girl. Your turn.
Okay. So, man, that was a fun topic, but mine would be honestly, and I think this happens a lot more so for Latinos, but family bullying. And Angie and I were kind of talking about this a little bit not long ago, because she had a situation in her family, and I'm like, you know what? There's something to that. Yeah. So what I mean by family bullying, and specifically, I know for me, and I hear this a lot coming from Latinos, that, you know, we clown on each other all the time, which eventually we say, oh, this made us tougher as we're older. Like we're able to handle shit. We're able to take shit. We can be jokesters because our family members have done that. But in a sense, it's toxic if you think about it. And the reason why I feel like people would have hate or give me hate for saying this is because a lot of people say what I used to say, which is it made me tougher. But at the end, it really fucks with you. Like I had so many insecurities growing up because I was heavy. I was heavy for most of my childhood to like, I didn't lose my weight until like high school. And I was always teased by my family for always eating, for like, they would call me shit like refrigerator. Like you're always in, like I would get bullied. Right. And it would hurt, but to them it was funny. Like everybody would laugh and stuff like that. And even more so too, they started doing that like with my kids, my family members, cousins, aunts, uncles, my mom, my dad, and they, in their mind, they don't see it as toxic. And I know that their intentions aren't to literally hurt their feelings, but I had to put a stop to that because I'm like, no, because I know what it did to me, to my mental growing up. And I feel like a lot of households do that, and it's not funny when it's fucking with you. I never felt comfortable with my body, and that's probably why I grew up to be. I'm sure it has something to do with it. Why I grew up to be tomboy. I never really liked to show my body, even when I got older and I did lose the weight and I was a little more comfortable with my body, I still never liked to show it. And I feel that it has something to do with my childhood and growing up with family members that would make fun of me being fat all the time, or not looking a certain way, or having the pretty cousin and you're the fat cousin. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And that could be with everything. Like we have, you know, in the Spanish community, we say things like morenita, which is you're the darker one, and güera, which you're the whiter one. Little things like that. You don't realize you're sparking something in the mental, you know, when people start going about their lives, you eventually, that goes with you. And if you felt uncomfortable about a certain thing, like most Latinos make fun of things we're the most uncomfortable of. And this is why I feel like I always point out that I have a big ass nose, but that I'm comfortable with. I'm like, it is what it is. I got a big ass nose. But my family, like that's the thing about it, is because Galindos, we do have big noses, right? And I know it made my sisters feel a certain way. And I know that was like their biggest insecurity. And to this day, we talk about like, oh yeah, I fucking hate my nose. Like one of my sisters really hates her nose, right? And it has to do with the fact that to this day in like barbecues, and I'm sure you saw, Angie, I'm sure you saw something like that, where they're just, all they do is clown on each other. I don't want that for my kids. Right. And to me, like when I say that, my family thinks you're fucking making them soft. And it's like, no, because I know what it did to me growing up. I know what it did to some of my siblings growing up. And I don't want to pass that on. And like, I don't want my daughter, like, it's dope to see that my daughter's comfortable with her body and she wants to do what she wants to do with her hair, like change her color. With me, I was crazy. I was toxic. My family would say I was toxic because I wouldn't want to do certain things that they wanted me to do. Even when it comes to religion, like, that the whole thing is like you can't joke about certain things, but you could joke on an appearance. So to me, I feel like that needs to stop, because that's where the insecurities start, right? When you're growing up, because you're so insecure about something your family has always picked on you on, but to them it's funny and you're there like he, but deep inside is hurting. And I feel like that needs to stop like at some point. And that's why I stopped it in my family. Like, I don't, or when they say things like, you can go outside, be in the sun all day, you're going to turn black. Like you need to put, I'm like, who cares? And like with my parents, it's the same thing. And then their mind is like, oh, you didn't put any sunblock. I'm like, who cares if he's dark? Who cares if my daughter gets darker? Like those little things that seem so minor can really have a big effect on you as you grow older. Right. And so I just feel like, to some people they say just it makes you tougher, but to others it's like, nah, it really fucks with your mental. And I know it did for me. I don't know if it did for you guys, or if this is something you guys can relate to. Like, did you guys have that growing up? Did you have family members always pick on you for something?
I just had that last weekend. So this is basically why I tweeted this, but I said, I laugh when people assume I'm supposed to be thinner because I am active. I love to play sports and I hit the gym just as much as I like to eat. Don't let
I did see that. Yeah.
And I said, don't let my size fool you. I will still beat you on the court or field any day. So, to me, it's like I'm active and everything, but my body changes in weight so much. So last year I had dropped like 30 pounds, and guess what? I gained that shit right back. But now I'm more solid, but I can still run. I can still, keep up. Yeah, I can still keep up when I'm, playing a sport or running on the treadmill. So to me, I feel like my standard of beauty is whatever the hell I want it to be. I am okay with being, a little slimmer, but let's keep it real. My body's not built that way. So I had to learn how to accept my body for what it is and how it's built. My mom's always been a curvy woman. So to me, I've just learned how to embrace myself, but it wasn't always that way because I've always been made fun of my weight. It was always like, it was something I was cautious about. When I started working in Hollywood, doing a lot of red carpets, I was super self-conscious to the point where I was basically like starving myself. I wasn't
It be your own family, them motherfuckers.
But you know what though? Y'all know I love to eat. So it was really hard for me to like not eat the things that I wanted just so I could look good on camera. And it's so sad, but that's the truth about working in entertainment and working in Hollywood, right? You feel like you have to look a certain way. You have to fit with the crowd. You have to, look, especially with women, we have to look younger. And, so to me now, I just feel like, listen, when I walk in the room, I'm the baddest chick in there, but I do that because I had to build my self-confidence to be that. Other people will be like, oh, she be feeling herself too much. And it's like, you have no idea what I went through to be able to build this confidence for myself. So, but yes, it definitely affected me growing up hearing, you're fat, and in the same tone, it would be, hey, come get your food. And it's like hella tortillas and rice, and, so.
But you're feeding me this shit.
Exactly. So what about you, B?
It's crazy for me, right? Because being a big dude, you would think, right, naturally I would get teased about my weight, but that wasn't the case, at least not for my family, right? So I remember one thing specifically when you were talking, Carmen, that stuck out, that my dad would always do, and it's a habit that I literally, to this day, I still do it. I still have it. I can't really explain it. But when I get sleepy, you'll know because I start rubbing my earlobe. I don't know what it is, but I start rubbing my earlobe like this. I'm sleepy. It's about to be night for me. So, but as a kid, I just remember like doing that when I'm tired, and my dad always being like, "Why you do that? You look gay when you do that. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that." Right. So as a kid, I'm like, well, damn, am I gay? Because I'd be like, like, you know what I mean? Like, you really like be like, things. You don't know, you know what I'm saying? He might just be saying it joking or just being like, yo, stop touching your ear, like you looking crazy. Right. But as a kid, you don't realize like, oh dang, like maybe you become really self-conscious. And so like you said, whether it's a body part, personality trait, something you do, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, it is, and it sticks with kids, especially. I know we think that kids are just, you know, they got a kid brain and don't absorb
They'll get
anything,
over
but
it.
it's exactly the opposite. You know what I mean? And we all can attest to it. We all have things that we remember where we're like, oh man, this person said this to me when I was however years old, and that shit really hurt my feelings, and it still stick with me to this day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we all have those things, and there's always something. So I agree with you 100%, man. The family, sometimes the family is the most toxic, man, and that's what leads to, you know, the real toxic shit later on in life. It usually starts at home a lot of the times.
It does. And I think when I've checked or corrected my family members, and I do it in a non-confrontational way, I just be like, let it be. It still is a problem. And it's like to this day, and I'm older, and it's crazy because even feeling like sticking up for myself or being like, all right, it's not funny, I'll still get the, oh, she's butthurt. And it's like, bruh, when are we gonna like normalize within our family that it's okay to have fucking feelings and defend yourself? Right. So like with my daughter, for instance, she struggled with her weight. Obviously she gets it from me because I've always been like that. When I was younger, I had a hard time losing weight, and I fucking starved myself to get to where I was when I was in high school. But with her, I tried to, because I remember that. And so like when my family will be like, or my mom will be like, but you don't stop eating bread and you don't stop eating that, I'll be like, don't fucking tell her that. Because when I was told that, like at the moment, I just wanted to do it more because I was like, man, fuck y'all. But it was really fucking with me where I was unhealthy. And then growing up, I didn't want to touch bread. Even to today, I was eating a pretzel and I was like, you want half of it? I told my daughter, you want half of it? She was like, man, mom, every time you get like a pretzel or a hamburger, you never finish it. And it's been because I grew up feeling like I'm going to get fat. I'm going to get fat. And it wasn't like the industry made me feel this way. It was my own motherfucking family that was making me feel that way, because I am the heavier one out of all my sisters. Specifically just within my family, I am the heaviest one. I got bigger hips. I fluctuate with my weight. It's always fuck with me. So with my daughter, like when I see her started gaining some confidence, even though she is not comfortable with her weight, she still will rock a certain shirt or, you know, certain things that I as a child couldn't do or would never do. It's dope to see that. And I try to remind my parents, like, you don't need to tell her. And they'll be like, man, you're hella sensitive. And it's like, no, I'm telling you guys, life has changed for everyone. And the most hard-headed ones are our traditional parents that grew up a certain way. And so it's like, they can't see the difference of what it is now and how you can evolve and you can change your fucking ways. You know, there's certain things that my parents did change as you know, life went on and things changed and women had more rights and stuff like that. Things changed in that aspect, but things like teasing and stuff, I fucking hate it. My nephew is super overweight. He's dealt with that his whole life. He has liver issues, and I don't like when they tease him because I feel offended for him because I've been there. And he's grown now. He's 19, but I know like that shit is not fun. And I'm sure that if he could, he would have lost the weight. He tried and has gained and lost. So to me, it's so fucking important. And I know I'm going to have a lot of Latinos be like, girl, that's part of the Latino community. We just make fun of each other. And it's like, no, there's certain things you can joke. Cause I'll say here, I'm the biggest jokester. I will take my own shit and make fun of myself half the time. But little things like that I know was hard for me growing up, I don't want to apply that to my kids. And I don't want to apply that to little kids now that are listening. And I don't want to be like, you got to have tough skin, man. Back in my day, I was able to handle this. It's like, nah, to a certain extent, it was toxic. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. No,
you can make fun of me all you want now.
It definitely helped me be witty. I will say that.
It did.
That it did. Now when somebody come at me, I come at them so hard. They like, God damn, I should have never said nothing to her.
Exactly.
So that for sure has definitely built my wittiness. But yeah, there's definitely things that still hurt my feelings. I'm about to be 37 in a couple months. Okay. I am a grown woman, and I still, when somebody says something to me, you know, I still feel away. So I react. But it's a family thing for sure. But the thing is, man, I think now, especially because I've gained that confidence for myself, I wish somebody would. I wish somebody would say something to me.
Yeah, man. I just feel like we got to do better, man. Family or not. And like you said, Killah, sometimes it be our own family that really fucks fucks us up mentally the most. And we just got to do better as humans. You know, I feel like that's one thing. Let's start there. Let's start with family. Yes, we're hella comfortable to say certain things, but to a certain extent, you know, it's got to make someone feel bad, you know, like I'm to this day, I'm going to get my nose done, by the way, y'all. So don't be surprised if you see me with a new nose, but that was because I broke my nose. Killah, you know that, right? I broke my nose. So
just
I know
make
you broke
sure.
your
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just make sure that, you know, you show the baby pictures. So that way, you know.
Oh, yes. Like the thing is, Killah, I've been wanting to fix my nose, right? But because I'm in the public eye and I don't want to show, I just don't want to pretend like I'm okay with something that I'm actually not. For one, it's now affecting my breathing. So like I can't sleep with my mouth closed. This is, I think it's been almost 2 years now where I can't sleep with my mouth closed. So it's fucking ugly. I be sleeping ugly, but it's because my nose is, so I broke my nose when I was in high school and so they fixed it. They popped it back into place. My nose is still big, by the way, but they popped it back into place.
Your nose is not that big. Yeah.
Right. That's why I be like,
y'all,
it's
It's
really
not that
bad.
big.
stop.
Mine is definitely.
Fam, your nose not that big, bro.
Killah, you've seen me in person.
You know, maybe subconscious. I understand. I'm not saying you shouldn't be subconscious
appreciate it,
about
though.
it.
Tell
I'm
me
just
my nose is
saying
small.
that it may not be as bad as you think.
Okay, I appreciate that. But no,
Yeah.
I it's one of my biggest insecurities because I broke it. Not
Right.
because I have a big nose, because I'm like, all right, you know, I'll deal with the big nose. Like, who cares? But it's what that I broke it. But
Right.
anyway, I've been wanting to fix it. And I just don't want people to be like, man, this bitch is fake. Got a little money, got a little fame. And now but man, don't be surprised if you see me. That's why I've been warning everyone. Like, don't be surprised if you see me, because I hear that I can get a free nose job because it is a health issue. So you
Go
may or
for
may
it.
not.
Listen, I am for, you know, plastic surgery. If you feel like you want to fix something on yourself, by
100%.
all means, you know, do it.
Yep.
But unfortunately, you see a lot of people, you know, get addicted to it. Like I get made
I
fun
know,
of my
that's what I'm scared of.
this forehead right here. Let me tell you, this little forehead right here always got teased, right? And as a matter of fact, my boy hit me up the other day because I posted something. He goes, "Yo, why did I think that you were Rihanna?" And I was like, "It's the forehead, baby. It's the forehead." So, so you know, it's a compliment. But at the same time, I was like, let me point out the obvious. It is the forehead. But you know, I've just learned to embrace it. And when somebody tries to clown me on, you know, my forehead or anything else, I just, you know, like you, I learned how to just like make fun of it too. So, you know, but I'm all for do whatever. If you feel like that's going to make you happy, but please, girl, do not go in there and shave it all off. That's
the thing. I'm afraid of getting addicted because I do hear that you get addicted to like plastic surgery and stuff. I mean, there's a couple things I would want to work on, but I don't want to be addicted. I'm like, fuck. If I get this nose fixed, then I'll be like, well, my ass can be a little bigger. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But don't be surprised if you see me later with a fucking small nose and you're like, damn, she really went and got her ass done too. Don't be judging me. Don't be judging me.
Hey, whatever makes you happy, man. At the end of the day, I'm fans on that.
Before we go, I just wanted to wish Killah B a happy birthday because his birthday just passed.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yes. What did you do for your birthday?
Yeah.
I'll just chill with the fam, you know what I mean? Just my girlfriend and the fam just here at the house, man. We kicked it, had a great time. You know, food, good time, good conversation.
The older we get, the less we do, huh?
Man, that's literally all I wanted to do. Like, people were giving me so many suggestions. They're like, we should go do this, we should go do that.
Like,
and I was like, you know what, man? Just staying at the house sounds really good. That was really fun this year. So he did. It was great. Had a great time though.
Well, next time we got to meet your girl, and since she has a podcast, we may have to have her jump on because we like people that are not shy.
Yeah.
So we may have to get her on and get her to tell us a little more about Killah that we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. And also, real quick before you also bounce, let them know what you got going on because you're working on some dope things that I feel like I hate when I see my friends that are talented that like are doing some dope shit and just like people haven't seen it enough. And I'm just like, have you seen this shit? So I want you to let them know how they can find you, how they can find your projects, what you do, because it's so good. And you put so much time and effort and it shows in your work. So let them know how they can find everything you're up to.
Yeah. I have a YouTube channel, B Grace TV. That's just BEGRACE TV. And man, y'all know me well, so y'all know I'm just like, I'm a for real. When I say I'm like a music nerd, like hip hop head, like love this shit, like for real, like that's for real how I am. Like I feel like I don't know. People, LeBron James was blessed with certain skills to be able to go play basketball. Beyonce was blessed with skills to go be a phenomenal entertainer. I feel like I've just been blessed with a certain way to like listen and interpret music. And that's just, and for years, people have told me like, yo, you need to be like doing this and like sharing it. And yeah, over the last year, I've just kind of like slowly gotten together what I want to do, formulated how I want it to look. And yeah, I kind of do these like short documentary style pieces, videos on artists that I like. And it's literally, it just be whatever I'm listening to, you know, is what's coming. Like I said, I was listening to a lot of Rick Ross over the weekend. We got a Rick Ross video coming this week. You know what I mean? So it just kind of goes along with that. Yeah. So I kind of do these deep dive documentary style videos, but also like to do, you know, kind of like what you guys do here. Have a video series called The Check-In where mainly just kind of talk about mental health. My mental health journey has been something that has been just incredible, and I feel like that I've gone through it to be able to like help other people maybe get through their situations and their journeys. So that's something that I try to do through that, and just really focus on mental health, especially as, you know, being a person of color. And you know, like I said, where for years I like was totally against the idea of therapy, but now, you know what I mean, can't really picture my life without it, you know what I mean, because it's helped me so much, and it's helped me become the person that I am today. So yeah, man, I'm just talking about that stuff, mental health and music, man, two things that I'm really passionate about. You catch that, me being goofy as usual, man. You'll probably get the occasional vlog on there. So
listen,
yeah, man.
If you support the Ladies Lounge and you like us and you like our vibe, then you are gonna like his shit. Let me just say, we're gonna put your information, and I'm just gonna put your latest video up there so y'all can see. And if you like what you see, you're gonna like everything else he's got coming. So make sure you guys check that out. Again, Killah, aka Bryan, we thank you so much for joining us. This ain't gonna be the last time. We gotta bring you back on when it's time to propose, or if you're gonna get there. And we also want to know if y'all ended up having an open relationship. Okay, because that's good. So now we gotta like follow up to see if this is something that, you know, you talked about. Because like I said, man, it's like it's kind of normal now to have conversations like that. Whereas like my parents, I'm sure they would judge the fuck out of him if they're like, my mom would be like, you really was talking about him having another coochie? But yeah, it's like something that is talked about. So I would love to hear your update. So we're gonna have you back soon.
I gotcha.
All right, Angie, I'll see you soon.
Yes, see you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.